Hey there, welcome to Old Man Runner. I'm going to make a series of videos about how I go about buying shoes. And they range from, whether you're a pronator, overpronator, neutral, how you land, what sort of brands, where you buy them, all that kind of stuff. But first, let's look at the first thing you need to do. Find out how big your feet are. The obvious place to start is to measure your foot. So Enda Running and New Balance and Under Armour, they all have guidelines. And they pretty much say, take a piece of paper, stick your foot on it and put it up against the wall and measure the length of your foot, draw it on a toe, measure it. If I do that, my foot is 280 millimeters long. And according to one of the sites, I'm 44 EUR. And another, I'm 45 EUR. What EUR is, I don't know. It's not centimeters. I don't know what it is. Now, they ask you to measure your foot late at night, because your foot might swell during the day, which is fair enough. To measure both feet, which is one size could be bigger than the other, but doesn't give you an idea how to buy two different size shoes. We'll worry about that later. And it tells you, or Under Armour certainly tell you, put your feet flat down so they stretch out. All that makes sense. New Balance advised that people are twice as likely to buy a shoe that's too small for them than too large. I found that strange. I thought it'd be much the opposite, but that's what they say. Brooks advise you to go half to one size up on your dress shoe size. Who wears dress shoes? Anyway, that's what they advise. I found the thing wholly inaccurate because if I take my 288 millimeter foot and my 44, 45 EUR, I'll end up with a size 9.5, 10 UK, and I take a different size completely. So let's have a look at my existing shoes. This is my go-to shoe, the Brooks Transcend 7. And as I said before, I had the 6, the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, and yes, the 1. The 1 I bought in a shop in Toronto, Canada. And so they went in, they measured my foot, I had a pretty good idea what size I wanted, tried it on, and I've bought every iteration in the same size since. So this is my go-to size. So this is a UK size 12. Now, if I had gone based on the previous stuff of measuring my foot, I'd have got a UK size 10, which is way off. So I think the really best way to do this is to try a shoe on. But even if you know you've got a Brooks size 12, what do you do? Because if I take my other size 12 shoes, so this is an on-running size 12, fits really nicely. This is an on-running 12.5. I bought it a bit bigger because there just weren't any other available. This is a Cloudnova, and it feels fine. Here's a Hoka. This is a size 12. I've just bought a 12.5. But when you try and compare the sizes across them, so this Hoka says it's a UK 12, but it's a US 12.5. This Brooks is a 12, but it's a USA 13. It's a EUR 47.5. This is a 47 and a third. So the translation system between all of the different groups is not the same. And even between the different companies. So there's a nice little thing on the on-running site, and you go on and he says, well, what shoe do you own at the moment? And you say, I've got a Brooks size 12. He says, oh, you should buy a size 12 in Cloudventure. So you do, and lo and behold, it fit really nicely. So got this, and I've got this, and they make nice bedfellows. But then I wanted to buy this. It's one of my favorite shoes. Fantastic. You can see it's covered in sand. But anyway, you go on to on-running, and it tells you, oh, well, if you normally buy a Cloudventure, and this is a 47.5, I'll just double check, it tells me to buy a 49. And you're thinking, why would you buy a different size shoe from the same brand? Surely they measure your feet and go from there. Well, maybe not. But luckily enough, I'd read in the reviews of this shoe online that you should buy maybe a half size up. So I ordered it a half size up. So this now came in, and I'll double check, a 48, men's 13 US, 12.5 UK. And it fits perfectly. So technically my biggest shoe fits better than all the other smaller shoes. So even that's a UK 12.5, and in theory I should be buying a 10. But if you look on On's translation device, for want of a better word, they tell me I should have gone a size and a half up. I should have bought a 49, I think it is, they want to buy these. So it's all very complicated. Now, then you might have, these are my now to be retired Carbon X's. And these are the same size. These are the, what are they? They're the Clifton Edge. So hold them sort of back to back. One is substantially bigger. Hello. One of them is substantially bigger than the other. And so you wonder what they're actually measuring. So let's have a look at this. I'm going to take my trusty clamp, and which I'm going to try and operate properly, and clamp the shoe. So we can see the shoe is nicely clamped. And then take the shoe out. Take our centimeter measuring device, and it's basically 343 millimeters long, or thereabouts. But inside the shoe, it says it's 30.5 Japanese. I mean, all the other, that's the closest thing that looks like, well, it says JPN, I presume that's Japanese. It looks the closest thing to centimeters that I can figure out. But it's clearly much bigger than its sibling here by probably about 2 centimeters, or the guts of an inch, than the Carbon X. And of course, if you were to measure them properly, you'd be standing in them and they'd lay down flat. So that's the lengths. They're all quite confusing. Very hard to know what the scales are actually referring to. What about the widths? So here's my New Balance FreshFoam V10. I bought this shoe 4 times. Hard to know why, but I bought this shoe 4 times. And each time it came back a different size. Like, that's what I was buying them for. But the first time I bought them, I kind of got confused. I'm used to UK size 12. I'm well used to the metric system, but I got confused in their shoe size of, what are these? These are 47 and, yeah, this is an EU 47. It's a UK 12. Even though, again, this is an EU 47 and a third in UK 12. This is UK 12 and 47 and a half. So who knows? But anyway, I bought the shoe 4 times because the first time I got confused and I bought a 45. Then they came in different widths. And anyway, by the time I found the right size shoe, and I'm not sure I did because I think this one's probably a little bit large. It's a wider width. The widths are more confusing than the lengths, and they go. They're letters, and there's A, B, C, D, and then E's. Anyway, it's kind of confusing. But I suppose the thing that I would recommend is that you go online. We're in a coronavirus pandemic, so most people may be uncomfortable about, or many people may be uncomfortable going to a shoe store. The first place to go to is a shoe store, but assuming you can't go to a shoe store, online is not bad. Forget the foot measurement. In my experience, it doesn't work. Go to a place that's willing to send you a shoe that you can try on and then send it back. What I discovered with New Balance is, I was really surprised actually, because they never asked me why I was sending the shoe back, but I sent it back 3 times. And they all have different conditions. But anyway, they allowed me to try it on, and there was free shipping and free returns. So I tried the first shoe on, didn't work. So went online, bought another shoe. And by the time it was getting delivered by UPS, then the guy comes, knocks on the door to deliver the shoe. I then give him the previous package and back it went. And I did this 3 times. It was inconvenient, but in some respects, it was really good to find the exact shoe because it varies from model to model in the different companies, and it varies from company to company. Hoka have a really good thing on their website. So I was looking at replacing this shoe, which I've done, and it'll be a video of the replacement in a few weeks. But effectively, on the Hoka website, they talk about whether this shoe feels true to size, and customers put in what they think it's true to size. And so let's say 67% of people think this is true to size. In other words, it's true to a UK 12. This is a UK 12. And that's kind of useful, but there's nothing as useful as putting your own toe into the thing and figuring it out and wiggling about a bit. I find I like a bit of extra room up here. I like a roomy toe box. There's nothing worse for me than a tight fitting shoe at the front. And all of these shoes, when I've run in all of them, I have no complaint when I'm running in them. If you look at the online stuff, I haven't gone through the whole terms and conditions, but from what I can gather, On give you 30 days to try the shoe at home. Now, I think that means that you couldn't go outside and run in it, but at least you could figure out whether it was the right size for you. New Balance, as I said, they've great. It's free shipping, free returns, and so it was really easy to do this. I don't know what the time period was. Maybe it was 30 days. I never have to do it with Brooks because I buy the same shoe. And but I think they've got a 90-day no quibble try at home, which is unreal. It's really fantastic. I'm tempted sometimes, and you're you're doing YouTubing, you know, you think, God, I could just order all these shoes, run around and then just send them back and do videos. But I'd be uncomfortable with that. But but as a general consumer, Brooks it's a great facility where you can just send and return. And I think Hoka just started doing free shipping to Ireland on orders over €100. It used to really annoy me with Hoka, but not anymore. I'll put some detailed descriptions below with the sizes of all the various shoes. And if you'd like to comment, pop something into the comment section and we'll have a read and maybe open up a discussion about the sizes. In future videos, I think the next one I'll do is how to find out if you pronate, overpronate, or neutral. So we'll have a look at some of that. And then go through the buying process and then probably put all this into practice and buy a shoe. See how that works. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.